This is an introduction to not only how to use Launchpad, it's an iPad app that allows you to make loops, musical loops. But the reason I chose this specific app for these motor activities for students is that, first of all, it is a very, very simple program to use, and really any child would be able to use it. If your child is able to point and touch and click on the buttons, they're big buttons, so for most kids it's going to be pretty easy. If your child is not able to point and touch, they can use a joystick or an adapted mouse or different kinds of adapted input devices, but really every child can do this. And so what you do is there are all kinds of different musical instruments here and different sounds. And because this is a quick introduction, I'm not going to explain how to put different instruments here. That's something you'd have to go and find on the website on their instructions. It's under Pad here. When you click on Pad, there are lots of different sound effects and vocals and percussion, and this is where you choose the types of drums. So if I go to drums, there's really masses of different kinds of drums here. And that's how you choose the drums to put onto your pad here, onto your launch pad. I'm going to go ahead and close Pad here because there's not enough time for me to explain how all of that works. This is where you set your beats per minute. So I'm going to click on that, and you'll see up at the right here it's set to 30 beats per minute. If I click on the plus here, it goes up to 33, 31, 32, but I'm going to leave it on 30 beats per minute because essentially when we look at these activities that our students are doing, the motor and movement and rhythm activities, what we really want is a very specific range of activities and motor movements with very specific rhythm and sounds. So as I'm going through the webinar and the training, I'll explain that in a lot more detail. For now, just to show you how this works, we have a really specific set of music and instruments here. We have it set up here to 30 beats per minute. And this is where the recording is up here. This is the recording button. But let me explain to you a little bit about these sounds. If I go to deep kick here, I want you to hear how simple that sound is. It's a very simple drum sound. I hit the stop in the top right hand corner to turn it off. So you hear that's a very simple sound. Here's another one up here that's a very simple sound. I'm going up to the right here to turn it off. Let's go to one of these other drums. This is what's really important. This is all 30 beats per minute. When you look at the way children hear and their auditory perception and their ability to coordinate their body to a sound, the light drum sounds a lot more complex than the clubby kick or the deep kick, but it is still 30 beats per minute. And this is where the scaffolding is that we'll talk about. We're going to talk about how you scaffold and how you make activities go from very simple to more complex. So this is what I want to show you. I can have the deep kick going, and then I'm going to go and click on one or two other sounds around here. And now I'm going to go click on this chili arp here. I'm going to go click on that again. So you'll see what happened is I clicked on it again and it turns off. It takes a little while to turn off because it has to go through its cycle. I'm going to go and click on an audio here, a vocal. I'm going to go to this Africa Kids. So I clicked on that to turn it off. I'm going to go click on Boogie Vocal. So you can set it up to run one sound, or you can have multiple sounds. So the two variables here are I'm going to go and turn that off so I can talk. The two variables are your beats per minute. That can start off very simple at 30 beats per minute, and you can make it more complex by making it a higher beats per minute. And you can also make it more complex by the type of sound and how many sounds you include. So I'm going to just go and play a beat here with all kinds of sounds, and you'll see it's still 30 beats per minute. This here is very simple, but if I go and I can only do one from each column. So if I do this one and this one and this one, and you can actually change the sound as you're going. So I'm going to start with some, and then I'll create some different ones. So I'll do this one here. I do want to just tell you, if you listen to that sound, even though it's 30 beats per minute, I think that would be a very difficult sound for kids to do a rhythmic, repetitive movement to. So I don't really like that one very much. I prefer the ones that are a very specific rhythmic sound, like this one here. It takes a while for it to move from the one sound to the other.